The 36th regular conference of heads of government of the Caribbean community will be staged in Barbados from July 2nd to 4th at the Hilton Barbados. The conference will have as its theme, CARICOM, Vibrant Societies, Resilient Economies.
I think that the theme was needed for this upcoming conference because we've had a lot of naysayers, a lot of prophets of gloom and doom who, because this institution may not be performing optimally, or that institution may not be performing as some people would wish, they've used that to indict the entire regional integration movement and to give the impression that everything is falling apart. The truth is that we're never going to get to a stage where everything in the region and everything in the regional integration movement is functioning perfectly. We just have to look at integration movements in other parts of the world.
Issues that are critical to the region will be tabled.
There have been issues of energy. Recently, CARICOM leaders met with Vice President Joe Biden in the United States to discuss energy. When we met with President Obama in Jamaica recently, we talked energy because outside of Trinidad and Tobago, most of our countries have been crippled by high energy costs during this crisis. Even Trinidad and Tobago now, because oil prices plummeted, began to feel some pressure. We have some nagging issues that we have to discuss, and this conference, therefore, is intended to focus on some of those issues and to chart a clear way forward.
Well, in fact, one of the critical things I believe that all heads will want to discuss is the financing of the CARICOM Secretariat. We obviously have issues relating to one of the matters I raised, the upcoming 3 international conferences dealing and events dealing, one with the Sustainable Development Agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are supposed to follow on what we had looked to implement by 2015, the Millennium Development Goals. Now, those things are very critical, not only for Barbados, for CARICOM, and of course climate change, because as you can appreciate, as we look at those, we're not looking at them from the perspective of just discussing issues, but we're looking at issues which essentially have a significant impact on our ability as small island developing states to basically survive. A lot of them touch on what we consider to be existential issues. Of course, we have ongoing matters relating to the issue of reparations. I mentioned that the Prime Minister. So the conference will receive a number of reports. A critical part of that, which would be led by Barbados, relates to the work of the Commission on the Economy. And again, in the context of the recent global financial and economic crisis, the ability of CARICOM to strategize, to address our efforts to, get ourselves out of the challenges posed by the recession.
It takes a long planning process because we want everything to, go very smoothly and very accurate. So we have co-opted, as we normally do, a number of agencies because the Prime Minister's Office and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs cannot do all. We do not have all of the expertise that are required for meetings like this. So what we would typically do would be call on persons or agencies such as the Royal Barbados Police Force for security and chauffeuring services. We would call on the Ministry of Health and the DEM and other associated agencies in terms of emergency response, whether it is medical or otherwise. We have, of course, the cultural or entertainment aspect, and we look to the National Cultural Foundation for that kind of support. And of course, we have the liaison services, a very important aspect of the whole thing, because the heads and the delegates need to be attended to for the purpose of the meeting. We also have the transportation, all the transportation needs. We have a person coordinating that. And of course, there's accommodation, the provision of accommodation at the host hotel and other hotels in the area. It benefits Barbados not only in the long run, but in the short run, because in the first instance, we have persons coming to Barbados. They are going to make some spend in Barbados. So from a tourism/business point of view, there's input into the country. There's also the exposure that it gives to Barbados, both from a marketing perspective and from an image perspective. So we have that benefit.
Barbados will host the 36th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, at the Hilton Barbados from July 2nd to 4th under the theme CARICOM, Vibrant Societies, Resilient Economies.